So in previous session, we have seen how to create an Angular application, how to set up Angular in your local machine, uh, and there are steps you have to install the Node.js, then you have to install the npm. Okay, so have you gone through the first video and first session, and did you successfully install and configure Angular application in your system? Hello? Okay, so any obstacles or any issues? Okay. So if you see any issues, let me know. You should. I think I made very clear on the steps. But if you see any issues, let me know. I can help you more. Okay. So even we have seen how to run your first Angular application. So we will run one more time and then we'll continue on this. Open the content folder. CMD. So what is the command? ng serve-o should run your application. So let's run the application one more time and then start from there. So first time it will take a bit because it has to build lot of client files and lot of it should process lot of files, and finally this is your first page. So let's look at your Angular application. So when you create an Angular application, so first client, so that is the folder I choose, and I created Angular application within this. And how to open your Angular application in Visual Studio? By using a folder, open folder option. So this will open your Angular project. So there will be no uh, solution file because this is not a .sln file, because this is not a .NET project, it's an Angular project. Okay, so there are different ways. Actually, even you can create an Angular application by using a template. So there will be template, create a new project. So search for, I don't know whether that is installed or not. So search for Angular, remove C#. I don't know whether that's available in my. I don't know whether it's installed. There will be a template, but the template is different. The template is a combination of C# and it's not a pure Angular. So it's a combination of C# and Angular project. So this is pure Angular project. So let's go through the folder structure and files. So there is a E2E folder at the beginning, and there you have source. Okay, so there are a lot of TS files. So Angular by default, takes TS. So what does it mean? TypeScript. So, but you can change it to JavaScript or any other client scripts. But we choose TypeScript. TypeScript. What is TypeScript? TypeScript is a uh, uh, Microsoft's client-side programming language, which is again based on JavaScript only. But the advantage of TypeScript, it looks like C sharp. So like how you create classes in C sharp, objects in C sharp, constructor, the program structure looks like your C sharp only. But this is a client-side JavaScript based program defined by Microsoft. That's why you see all TS. TS means uh, it's a TypeScript file. So app E2, app POTS. So we don't do much in the E2E. Okay, so yeah, TS config. So this is TypeScript config file. So this E2E folder, we don't make any changes to it. Most of the time, when you install something, that will go there. So there is an SRC folder. So where your source, your files, your pages, you will define your pages, your components, everything here. Okay, so here in the app, you will have the uh, app folder, and there you have all the files within the app folder. Then assets, git keep. It's a git command. So environments. So again, it's a kind of app setting.json. So you can have environment.ts, environment.prod.ts, where you can define configuration parameters, and we will see that later. Index.html is the one which we are going to see now, and main.ts is the one again which we are going to see. So this src folder will contain all your code. Okay, so let's look at a few files here. So tslint.json. So this will specify the TypeScript lint recommended. So most of the time you'll have all the specifications for the TS, which is nothing but TypeScript. And here it's using RxJS. So again, you might feel uncomfortable. If you are aware of JavaScript well, then you will understand this, but that's okay. We will anyway start from the beginning. So tslint.json, ts config specs. So it says where is the config file and what kind of so your Angular is built on top of your node. Okay, so your Angular application will be here, and which will communicate with the node. So with the support of node, your Angular application will work. So that's why we installed node first. Okay, so ts config file, TypeScript config file. So here it says output directory. What is the output directory? Base URL is dot slash. You can change it to something else. Okay. So ES 2015. ES 2015. So what is the node modules route? So node modules and uh, this is ES means ECMAScript. Okay, which is again a JavaScript related. tsconfig.json. Uh, so package.json. Yeah. So this package.json will contain everything. So what is a command to start ngserve for build, uh, to test your Angular application, nglint, e2e, ng e2e. Okay. So what are the dependencies? Our Angular. So this will specify the package.json will specify what are all the components you used with the versions. So Angular 8 version, okay. So Angular core, what is the version? Angular forms, what is the version? Platform browser. So this package.json will specify which versions you are using. So Angular CLI. See, this is types node. So there will be some Jasmine. Okay. Karma, which version? And TypeScript node. Yeah. The version of TypeScript is 3.4.3. With this project, what is the Angular version? What are the different versions of the components we are inbuilt using, and the TypeScript version? We don't change anything much here. So whenever you install anything, that dependency will come here. Okay. So package log JSON. So this is out of your package.json will be built. Karma config browser list. So what kind of browsers it supports? Uh, excuse me. Angular.json. This is one important JSON file which we are going to see now. Okay. And main.ts, taggle it, index.html. So where your Angular application is starting. So every application should have a startup, and should, whenever you start your application, it should start, right? So when you open google.com, so this is the landing page. This is the starting page of your Google. Again, when you search for something, so this is a different page. This is a list page. Okay. So this is images page. This is news page. But whenever you say google.com, so always you see this page, and this is called a landing page. Every application will have a landing page. And for Angular, so what is the startup? So the main.ts is the startup. Okay. And here we are bootstrapping. So what is bootstrap? Bootstrap means it's a old word, like even for cars, in the we call it as a bootstrap. Bootstrap is nothing but the startup. The startup. So the main.ts will have a bootstrap module. So in interview questions, if they ask what is the starting point of your Angular application, so bootstrap is the starting point. But who says go to this main.ts? So go to your Angular application, angular.json. So in angular.json, did you see these two? So here in your projects, so there will be a property called main. So whatever the file path you are giving, that will be your main. So when you run your Angular application, this angular.json will be considered, and the compiler or the deployment system, it will check for this main, and it will see what value it is. It is src main.ts. So immediately it will go and pick that main.ts. And what is the index file? Index file is nothing but src index.html. So it will go there and it will pick this main.ts, and in the main.ts it will find a bootstrap module. Okay. So bootstrap platform browser dynamic bootstrap, and it's loading the app module. So it will come here and it will load this entire module. Any questions here? This is again I'll repeat. Angular.json will have two important parameters. So one is main and the other one is index. So what the file path you gave in the main and what file path you gave in the index, those two will be your starting points. So it will go immediately and it will pick this bootstrap module. It will execute this bootstrap. Sorry. Yeah, it's a landing page or home page or startup page or kickstart page, bootstrap page. Okay. So and in the index.html, you have everything. So how this content is loading? I'll come to that later. But did you understand the main.ts, importance of main.ts and index.html? Okay. So see the contents of main. So this import statements, if you see these import statements, those are equivalent to using statement in the C sharp. In C sharp, what you do, you will use using system, using entity framework dot core, using data annotations, right? So that means you are including the right. So here in Angular, we'll use the import. So import this Angular @angular.core will contain lot of classes, lot of files. I'm not going to import everything here. In that, enable prod mode is the one I'm going to import. So you can specify like comma if you want to do another one more class from the same namespace, one more. So like this you can specify. You don't need to, if you don't specify, everything will be loaded. So everything means .NET Core, Angular .NET Core will contain a lot of components. So here platform browser dynamic, Angular platform browser dynamic is the namespace. So in that, this platform browser dynamic is the class. So here what I'm doing, platform browser dynamic dot bootstrap dot app module. So where this Angular @core, see, go to E2E, there will be your, you should see the, yeah, node modules. Can you see the node modules? Did you see the node modules? These are not appearing here. Do one thing, show all files. Yeah, if you show all files will come. So in the node modules, you can see. So this is Angular, @Angular, okay, core. So this will contain a lot of things. Did you see this Angular core? So if you include everything, all of this will come. All of this will be imported. But I don't want to use all of them. Enable prod mode. Somewhere it will be here in the core, Angular core. So somewhere it will be there. It's a class. Okay. So I am only including that specific one. So Angular platform browser @Angular. So there will be browser dynamic. So in that browser dynamic dot DTS will be there. Okay. So this will have, did you see this platform browser dynamic? Okay. And you're calling Bootstrap somewhere. Bootstrap will be there. Or you can simply say go to implementation. Yeah, in the, this is the, so you no need to go into these details, just I am showing for your awareness. Okay, then index.html. So first, what is this app module? Go to your src in the code. So this is your, in the src there is a folder app, right? So in Angular, Angular is a modular based. Angular is a modular based. What does it mean? And Angular is for enterprise applications. You can develop large scale enterprise applications by using Angular. React is for small applications and small modules or small uh, applications. When your application is huge and you have lot of data to modify, write, read, not only read, update, and if you want to write update a lot of data and insert that lot of data, Angular is the best one. So for read only and small applications, React is the best one. Okay, so in Angular, your code will be divided or managed in a module manner. Okay, so this app is the module. Okay, so this app will contain these files. Every module will contain all of these files. So app module.ts, okay, app component.ts, app routing module.ts, so app component and app module. And if you go to app component.ts, so this is your app component, and the selector will be app route. The selector will be app route, and it will say what is the HTML file and what is the CSS file. Okay, and where we are using this, come here, app root. Remember this, come here and see this app root. So when I say in Angular app root open and app root close, so it will go and check for this tags, and here the selector is app root. And here it knows what is the HTML file, the design file. So this will load that particular file into as a loading page. And if you see app component.th, so see tour of heroes, CLI documentation, Angular blog. Are you seeing the same here? So these are coming from your app component.html. So it's little confusing, correct? Is it confusing? Hello? Yeah. So let's do a small exercise so that we can understand how the things are working. So I don't want to use the main.ts. I will create my own. So here what I'll do, I'll create, add new file. So I'll say main custom main.ts. So I'll move all of these contents to here. Okay, and I'll create one more file, custom index.html. So I'll move all of this. We'll go step by step so that we can understand it. Okay, so now I will delete these two. And let's run your application. See, the beauty with Angular application, it's already in the running state. So the moment you are making changes, you no need to stop. It will throw an exception. So The moment you change something at your code, and if you save it, the compiler will pick it automatically. So here it's checking for index.html and main.ts, and there are the files I deleted, and that's why it's throwing an exception. So how to fix this? So custom main.ts, okay, custom index.html, okay. So, and see here, immediately it will, oh, it's not picking. Just save it, save all, and wait for some time. If it doesn't pick, then okay, if it doesn't pick, Control C and do ng serve one more time. So it's compiling. Okay, yeah. So now I removed the default main.ts and I removed the default index.html, and I loaded my custom main and custom index. Does that make sense? Now I'll create my own component. Okay, so the app component.html, which was there, I'm using it, but I want to create my own uh, component file and use it. So how to create a component? And first of all, what is, so till this, is it clear? Okay, so I'm going to create a component in this folder, and then I'll load that into, so ng new component, and my component name is my first component. So this will create a component. So ng new help. So this is for collection, create application, defaults directory, ng force inline. Why it is throwing exception? So command to create a new component, ng new component, ngg, generate component, not new component. So it's my bad. ng generate, is it generate component? Yeah, ngc my so this is going to create a component. So what is component? Component is nothing but it's a combination of multiple files. Forget about the css and spec.ts. So the css is for style sheets, and spec.ts is for test cases. So these two are important. So the HTML file, okay, and this is the TS file. So if you see the TS file, so in interview question they'll ask how to create a component. So in order to create a component, you can use the command. Okay. So what does the component contains? Can you read at the rate component directive the sections within the component directive? Can you guys read the component directive contents? So the first one is selector. It says what selector you are using to access this component. Second one says what is the HTML file? What is the HTML file for this component? And third one, what is the CSS file? And a component is a simple class. Export class. Export means public. Okay. Component implements on init. We'll come to this on init later, and it will have a constructor and ng on init. Okay. And here, hello all. This is my first component. Okay. Now I use this component in my class. So how can I, if I use app root, it will go to this component and it will pick this app root because the selector is app root. I don't want to make this as a starting page. So how can I make this as a starting page? How can I make my first component as a starting page? So what is the selector for this? My first app, right? My first app. So come here and say this. Okay, now run and see whether this picking or not. So it's building successfully. Yeah, it built successfully. But did it load the HTML file? Let's see. Okay, so there are some issues in the console. Okay, so we are missing some more. So first app, come here. Where is a component? Yeah, this is my first app. So somewhere we have to come here in the app component. Okay, this is fine. App modules. Did we make the first component? And here also, yeah, browser module, app routing module, correct? So component dot somewhere we have to make come here to custom index. Yeah, this is fine. This is also fine. Go to your JSON file, Angular JSON, custom index, okay, custom main. Anywhere you have any reference, Let's run one more time. Okay, it's already running. You can access this. So how to diagnose the issues in your Angular? Go to F12, click on F12. So there is a developer tool console. The selector app root did not match any element. Default select root element, debugger, app route. Okay, let's see where did we register this. Go to your app components. My first component is there. App components. This is also there. Okay, this one, router outlet. Yeah, make it here. Yeah, save it. I forget always this one. So clear the console. Load one more time. Still you are seeing it. So in my blog, I think I clearly mentioned. So let's look at my blog. Yeah, angular interpolation. Yes. This is bootstrapping Angular. Okay, bootstrapping an Angular. Create Angular. Angular build main.ts. We have to change the main.ts and index.html. Yes, we did. Okay. Then app route. So I changed it to something else. App module. So bootstrap app component. App component. Yes. So app route. The app route is there. App component. Okay. This we have to do the first component as yeah, in the app routing module or in the app module. So the first component, bootstrap component, is my first component. Yeah. Yeah. Did you see? So what I have done, I'll summarize. So I created a new component called my first. Okay. And it has a selector, and the selector is app my first. So I want to make this as a startup page. So what are the places I have changed it? First of all, this selector, I am loading it in the custom index.html because this is the loading page, and whatever HTML files I load here, that will be loaded. So I made this change. Okay, here I that app module only, but in the app module.ts, okay, my first page, bootstrap page, is my first component. So the flow will be, first the application will come here into the Angular JSON file. So it will find what is the startup page, the main.ts. So here it's a custom. So it will find the custom main.ts, and there in the app module, it will check for the bootstrap module. So which is the bootstrap module? That means which is the starting module of this application. So it will go to the app module. So that the app module will have a app module.ts file. So in the ts file, it will see what is the starting page, the bootstrap, and it's a my first component, and it will load it. Is it clear? If you want, I'll repeat one more time. But is it clear? You have any questions? So I will ask few questions. So what we have done in this session, can anyone summarize? So first I created my own custom index.html and custom main.ts file. I just copied the contents from the previous main.ts and component.html. Then I created a component called my first, and the content of index.html I changed it the selector. That means I'm telling load my first component into this page. That's it. So, and again in the app module.cs I say the first page is the my first component. Okay. So the flow will be the Mhm. Which text? Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Yes. So my first component.html. Yeah. Yeah. I'll repeat flow one more time. So when you run your Angular application, the compiler will from here it will find the reference which index and which main. So when it find the main, it will go to that main file, and there it will determine which is the module, which module is the startup module. So this app module. So when you say app module, every module will have a module.ts file. So here it says which is the startup page. So I changed it to my first component. Okay. And also here I am loading the my first component. So it will go to this app module and it says, okay, my first component is the startup page, and it will load the page into this custom index.html file. So it looks complicated, but please follow these steps and make sure you see this exactly. Okay, let me open a notepad. Okay, so create new Angular application or use existing one. So the first step is find existing main and index files. Create new main and index files. Means the main.ts file, like custom main.ts file, I'll give the same. Create new custom main and custom index files. So then delete files from step 1 means delete the original main. So here the third step, move content from original files to custom files. Then delete the original files. Okay. Then update your JSON file with custom references. Then create a new component, update new component reference in appmodule.ts and index dot custom index.html. Finally, run your program. Run and see your custom file as startup. So these 8 steps follow, please. And definitely, you will definitely see some issues. But when you see those issues, yeah, I already put it in the WhatsApp. Okay. So please follow these steps and let me know if you see any issues, and we can work out and we can solve it. And the whole exercise will let you understand how the Angular is working. Okay. Okay. Any questions?